every one of those bands I like in that book. I mean, they've all got two or three good songs. You have to judge a band by their greatest hits record. And the Poison greatest hits is way better than the Winger greatest hits, let's say.
Poison. Yeah, I was gonna argue for Poison
What a
in
great
this
band. I mean,
interview.
you could
Yeah,
you put anybody, go get that best, I'm sure you can hear it on, for free, anywhere. But like the greatest hits album is like 13, 14 songs deep.
they are
You know?
solid songs. Solid
Yep.
songs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that album that they did, Native Tongue with
Oh,
Richie Kotzen.
yep. Richie
Stand.
Kotzen was so good with that band. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first
And,
heard the
and
single
so here's
Stand, I was
here's what was amazing to me though, was that this was like we could talk about the music and we both get it, and there's obviously tons of people who get it, but for some reason the artists didn't really get it. There was a social change that happened in the early 90s. They felt like they had to change or something, and I felt betrayed a little bit by those bands, to be honest with you.
so are
I
you
felt,
talking about like the same bands that were changing their sound to sound like
yeah,
Nirvana?
like I
Right.
felt like, I mean, maybe Cinderella or somebody like that kind of kept it a little bit, but I just felt like everybody was like all of a sudden like in a leather jacket and trying to out tough others, and
Yeah, I don't
that's not what they were based on. That
right.
wasn't their strength,
There's no
you
way it
know?
would have worked. Warrant tried that. Was it
Right. It was like the 95
ultraphobic or ultra something? But
yeah.
yeah, and there were bands that were trying to keep up with that era. Even Kiss with Carnival of Souls.
Yeah, right.
And
But
it
then but Kiss also had this awesome album, and I just know about it because the guy who I made the American Hardcore film with, Paul Rackman, made the videos for the Kiss Revenge album.
Oh, great album. Yes,
Great
well,
album.
that's a. I guess that could argue against. I guess what we're saying, but it still maintained the Kiss sound. I think it actually
Right.
brought it more
I
back
thought
to
that
the
was a
original
tremendous album.
Kiss.
Yes, yes, but
Yeah,
they couldn't keep doing that either. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to really be. It comes down to that thing about, are you honest about your art? And that's a really deep philosophical question. And I can't say that these guys stuck up for their art. And there was this time where if you were like Soundgarden or Alice in Chains or Pearl Jam or Faith No More, you had to take these tours with like, Poison or Extreme or,
yeah,
whoever it was. You had to tour with those, you had to open for those bands.
yeah. It was an odd pairing. Like Alice in Chains opened for Van Halen in '91.
Mhm.
But a lot of people forget too, like Alice in Chains, I think was a band who, when they first started out, they were kind of sort of glam the way they
Well,
dressed
yeah,
up,
because it was hard to make the break, right?
Yeah.
You live a certain life, you like rock and roll, and then all of a sudden you see how the business is, and you see how the big cities are changing, and you want to be ahead of that, but you can't be too ahead of it because you'll come across as fake. So it's a really hard thing to straddle, like authenticity. You have to be authentic, whatever you do. Like, I never felt like Poison was not authentic,
Right. That's who they were.
but these bands became inauthentic when they changed. I'm not saying that Poison changed, because they didn't. In fact, I would say that Bret Michaels did a very mature thing, which was kind of like that country, that going more Nashville, let's say. Because that's what you do when you get older. You mature and you take your tools and you move into something else. That's okay.
He does well on his own. He's got his own festival that he puts out once a year,
Mhm.
does the Poison thing.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah. And
smart.
it's like, and there's like there are millions of people who love these bands still.